Market Sales Director at TK'Blue. I'm pleased to welcome you today to this first English-speaking webinar. TK'Blue webinars are designed to provide you with targeted answers without taking up too much of your time. I would say less than 30 minutes. Our session today will address the benefits of TK'Blue solutions for shippers and freight forwarders. With us today, two speakers, Christophe Frey, Director of Marketing and International Development for TK'Blue, and Milan Dolinar. Hello, Milan, who is based in Germany, Sales Director for Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. For those of you who don't know us yet, let's play now our short discovery video, Understand TK'Blue in 30 seconds.
Day in, day out, your company moves goods. You wish to optimize costs and improve quality while taking care of the environment. TK'Blue brings you the solution. We label all your carriers according to their materials and equipment. By doing so, we help you make the right choices and calculate your greenhouse gas emissions, pollutants, and particles generated by your transport operations. Be eco-responsible while improving the quality of your transports.
The mission of TK'Blue Solutions is to improve the economic and environmental performance of goods transportation. More than 50 major enterprises have already successfully adopted the TK'Blue solution. Shippers from all types of business sectors, as you can tell, distribution and retail, food and beverages, cosmetics, pharmaceutical, manufacturing industry as well. Some freight forwarders are listed on this slide, a few of them, FM Logistics, Saint-Gobain, Class Logistics, Tratel. Since this is the first international webinar, Milan, please tell us about the TK'Blue International Services. Milan?
Yes, thank you, Christine. I would also like to welcome our listeners. Since TK'Blue was founded, it was clear that the key to a trusted third-party measurement is to rely on a widely accepted methodology. That's why TK'Blue has partnered with several universities in Europe that are expert on transport, like the University of Amsterdam and many others that you can also see on the slide. These universities are a key part of our efforts to provide the industry the most robust measurement solution available in this sector, and even more important, to keep it up to date. TK'Blue also organizes every 6 months an international meeting with scientists and transport specialists that discuss the latest findings on environmental protection and suggest solutions how to measure them. Last but not least, our methodology and the algorithms are audited and verified by the Bureau Veritas, which gives our clients more confidence in the measurement we provide and enables them to use the data also for legal purposes. As TK'Blue's primary specific focus is on the environmental and social impact of transport, it is complementary to other CSR and transport management solutions. That's why TK'Blue has also close collaborations with international CSR agencies, consulting firms, and leading transport solutions. So if you already have a solution in place, I'm confident that we can link our solutions to it and enhance it with our calculations. TK'Blue and the global coverage. TK'Blue was from the very beginning conceived as an international service using the same certified methodology to compare easily results globally. In addition, TK'Blue's measurement measures all the mode of transport on a global base. Indeed, we can collect and report on transportation in Asia Pacific, Africa, Europe, Americas, and Australia. TK'Blue can measure all transport up and downstream flows as well as the full supply chains from the raw material to the point of sale. It is obvious that we had to consider all transport modes like road, train, plane, and sea. In the attempt to make the environmental impact of transport as exhaustive as possible, we can measure and include in our transport the footprint of the storage during the transport route as well. TK'Blue is prepared to help you to answer all questions on the environmental impact of transport, independently from the location or the mode of transport. International labeling is an important part of our work. TK'Blue is today measuring more than 200 flows of goods transport all over the world. As a result, our database is growing every day. Today, we already have for example, more than 100,000 trucks just in Europe with detailed information like the registration number, fuel consumption, gearbox, etc. A lot of information around the truck. We don't stop there. We also collect the skills and the training of drivers, like if they have been trained on economical driving, which leads directly to an adjustment in the calculations. The detailed TK'Blue is collecting allows us to have a very accurate calculation that is going beyond simple average numbers, which is important as it also reflects much better the efforts that most companies take to improve their environmental footprint. Christine, does this answer your questions?
Well, it does. Thank you, Milan. This is indeed a global solution. We'll move now on to our next session. May I suggest beforehand you use the chat space on the left-hand side for your questioning during the presentation, and we will answer your question at the end of our webinar. So now, Christophe, could you present us the solutions and the benefits?
Yes, Christine, thank you very much. A foreword, before talking about the solution, I would like to talk about our customers, the shippers. How can we help the shippers? We help the shippers who need one of the following topics. Do you need to reduce the cost due to non-quality of transport? Do you need to comply with the CO2 and greenhouse gases regulation, or comply with the CSR corporate set goals? Do you need to enrich the purchasing process and the transport tenders? Do you need to evaluate, based on facts, the actual performance of your carriers and ensure their sustainable progress over time? Do you need to verify the social and tax certifications of your carriers and possibly of the subcontractors? Do you need to communicate on the CSR efforts and progress with both your customers, your employees, candidates for recruitment, and the local authorities? Last, do you need to promote the company excellence with potential investors? If your company responds to yes to one or several of these items, then I think TK'Blue can help you. Now, let's look at the world of transport and at the shippers' priorities. Shippers today need to reduce the impact of transport. They're under pressure on three fronts. First front is to help the planet, which by global warming is threatened due to the CO2 and the greenhouse gases emission. They also need to reduce the impact of transport on the people due to the health side effects of the pollution, NOx, SOx, particle and noises. Transport has a negative impact on the citizens, but also on the consumers, which are your customers, and on your employees. Third need to reduce is the impact on your profit. The negative impact of non-quality of transportation and negative image against your company can also have a negative impact via the citizen, the consumers, your employees, and onto your company. Shippers today try to address those three challenges, which is quite difficult. Knowing the trend to reduce these three impacts, how does TK'Blue suggest to resolve them and maximize the performance of transport? There's a good news. silver lining. It's true that based on experience and larger shippers' experience, the economic and environmental benefits are linked. TK'Blue deep studies have found that optimized loadings of the vehicles, whether maritime, truck or train, use of performing equipment, truck, but also barge, train, and so on, and trained teams will all contribute to the environmental performance of your transportation, which helps resolving the problem on the planet and on the people. Will also ensure delivery quality and security, hence helping with the people and your profit, and overall improve the economic performance of your transportation, hence promote the profit of your company.
Well, Christophe, Well, Christophe, you presented the big picture. How does the TK'Blue solution works exactly?
Yes, I showed you the high-level picture. Now let's look at how does it work with the TK'Blue solution itself. TK'Blue is a solution based on a unique collaboration. Milan mentioned our collaboration with a scientific college. Second element of the collaboration, the shippers or the freight forwarders. Our system will import the transportation flow details. They will come from your PL or 3PLs, or they might come from your internal system, your transport management system, or your ERP. The key information we will collect are quite simple. The weight information, distance of the route, which route you've been using, are you using complex route like milk run? What mode of transportation are you using? What carrier are you using? What numbers of parcels or containers and so on. Those information will be imported through via an Excel file or through an API, possibly on a monthly basis or on a quarterly basis. That will contribute to the TK'Blue analysis. But that's not all. A third element of collaboration comes from the carriers. The carriers label the fleets servicing the shippers on our platform. They provide detailed information on the vehicles they're using for your transportation activities. They will provide information on the fuel type, on the fuel consumption, which equipments are geared on the vehicles, the loading rate, and especially the empty load rate, which training they've given to their drivers. All of that will be provided online and updated as needed if there is any change. That's unique, that's collaborative, that's something that a simple shipper cannot complete in its own. Many shippers have attempted to do such calculation on their own with their own information. That's not enough. You need the true collaboration between the scientific college, the shippers, and the carriers, not only to but also to find ways to improve over time, because getting a measurement today is not enough. What really matters is to improve over time, and to improve over time, you need the detailed information to progress. Now, what does the result look like? TK'Blue provides 4 families of services. First of all, we provide that online platform that is secured with your data, available on the cloud, gives you visibility of all your transport flows around the world, and helps you with the data modeling. What I mean by data modeling, I mean complex route, multimodal transportation, for example. Second set of services, a set of services around the carrier's labeling. We will provide for every fleet a detailed and transparent scoring. We will provide a certification to the carrier. We will hold the documents required, and we will even open a directory of what we could call the blue carriers. Third set of services, measurement. The solution will, of course, calculate and give you access to your CO2 greenhouse gases emission, as well as societal impact. I mean, the pollution impact that have an effect on the population. The measurement will be a third-party certification that you can use to prove your compliance with the regulations, that you can use to prove the achievement to your top management, and that you can use in your publications and communication. Fourth family of service, what we call the cockpit or the dashboard. Online, the solution will help you run some analytic studies. You will be able to run benchmarks. I mean benchmarks between two carriers, benchmark between two routes, benchmark between two business units of your company, benchmark between one brand and another brand of your company. It depends on how you run your transportation. The tool will help you analyze the comparative performance of the various actors. You will be able to design and optimize. You'll be able to redesign your supply chain. You might be also able to optimize your transport plan. You will be able to design actions and register them in the platform. And you will be able to track the achievement of both the carriers and your own organization versus the new goals that were set. So 4 high-level services: online platform, carriers labeling, measurement, and analytics and dashboard. It's quite rich. Transportation has lots of information. We hold, as Milan said, 200 millions, I really say million, 200 millions of transport flows in our database. It's quite exhaustive. We've brought those 200 million lines into very simple index so everyone can understand and progress. The first index is called the TKT index. This is the index that defines the quality of the carrier's fleet allocated to your transportation. One index per carrier and fleet, so you can assess, if you have several fleets working for you, which is the best and how to improve the performance of the others. Second index is the CO2 and greenhouse gases index, which calculates your emission for all the goods you've transported around the world during the year or during the month. And that is calculated and expressed in kilograms of CO2 equivalents per ton kilometer. So you can compare that index, ton kilometer, among carriers, among countries, among transport modes, and so on. It's one number that, shows the environmental performance of your transportation. Last index relates to what we call the health side effects to the population. It's called TK Euro. It is the cost to the society and not to your company, to the society of the transport flows. It is something important to keep in mind. CO2 is today's short-term concern, but in the medium run, the challenge for the shippers is to reduce the cost to the society before the society imposes them to pay for that cost. So it's important, keep it in mind and keep on reducing it over time. All the results we will be providing in the database run around those 3 indexes. The tool will help you sum them, average them, sort them, graph them, extract them online as you need. Now let's look at the benefits now. Christine, you asked me what benefits for the shippers. The shippers come back to us over the last 3-4 years that we've been deploying the solution with them. And they have highlighted 4 types of gains. The first gain might be the most obvious. It's gains in the transport area, whether it is related to purchasing, to quality of transportation, or to supply management. The second family of benefits is related to compliance, mitigating the risk, complying with the regulations, and meeting the corporate goals. The third family of gains are related to finance, obtaining better quotations from your suppliers, ensuring that the invoices are related to the actual transportation activities, reducing the inventories so your supply chain works better, you don't need as much security stockpile, and last, improving the stock value of your company. Fourth gain, image. Whether you will be communicating internally with your top management or with the teams, whether you will be communicating externally with your service providers, with the local authorities, or with the press and the media. These 4 types of benefits and gain have brought to our customer a return on investment of 15 as soon as in year 1. We'd be very happy to share our return on investment study that we built on several of our customers in year 2017. We'll also be happy to sit with your team in a return on investment seminar so we can take into account the specifics of your company transport activities and calculate a more precise return on investment in the situation of your company. Christine, one last word before I conclude. Those gains are not only to the supply chain and transport organization. They also benefit the CSR, Human Resources and Communication Department. They contribute to better sales. They help achieving the procurement and finance goals, and they help on the legal and compliance side. So really the benefits are for all the stakeholders across your company.
Well, thank you, Christophe. If we understand well from your presentation, it's an online collaborative solution between shippers, couriers, university scholars, and industry specialists. What I retain as well is you mention a high return on investment, which is linked to benefits, not only across the supply chain, but impacting most of the divisions of your company. So now we'll move on to the Q&A sessions, and I will wait for some questions. Okay, there is a question from Marilyn. How long and how complex is it to deploy the TK'Blue solution?
Well,
Christophe,
yes, I will answer that, Christine. We've deployed the solution at many of our customers in, I should say, a few weeks to a month. The key element of the deployment is to extract the data, the transport data that are listed in my slide from your ERP or TMS information, and analyze the routes, the complex routes like milk run. It takes no more than a month. Now in parallel, and at the end of the month, you will have your first measurement of your CO2 and societal impact. In parallel, we will reach out to your carriers and we will start labeling their fleet. Over time, it might take 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, depending on their goodwill. We will improve the calculation by having the exact fleet performance as opposed to international averages. As soon as we collect the information, detailed information from the carrier, we go back and calculate the initial and improve the initial calculation to give you a best measurement. So really, in 1 month, you get your first results, and 3 to 6 months, you get a really fine measurement with lots of indicators on how to improve your performance.
Well, thank you, Christophe. We have another question from Stefan. I guess this is for you, Milan. You displayed earlier on the logos of international customers. Quite a few were French, though. What would be the added value on a market such as Germany, asks Stefan.
Yeah, TK'Blue is an international solution, so it's true due to the origin of the company that most of the clients are in France today. But please bear in mind, most of the transport is international. In Germany, we're already working with Procter & Gamble and Metro, and we also have established successful contacts to the major leading companies since our start in January. So I expect that you will see TK'Blue more often in Germany, in the German market very soon.
Okay, thank you, Milan. There's one question from Elena. Facing an ever-changing business environment, what can we expect from these indices in a tight market, Christophe?
Well, that's a great question because, you know, when the market was easy, I would say, you could source quality carriers easily. Now, it is true that in 2017, the market has become quite tight, both on maritime from and to Asia and across Western Europe for trucking companies. It's when the price go up, which is a challenge for your bottom line and your procurement team. When price go up, it's becoming more difficult to ensure that you're buying quality services. And the fact that we bring a quality index and we give you visibility on why this is a qualitative fleet, why it is well optimized, good equipment and good team, that ensures that in a tight market, when you are under pressure to buy aggressively, you maintain the quality of the services you procure.
Well, then I will add a question myself that I've heard very often from some potential customers. We're here quite easily. Well, I buy my transport quite well, so what would I improve with TK'Blue? Maybe again for you, Christophe, about procurement.
Yeah, we back to quality. Buyers, you know, are doing a great job in the transport business. There's really not much money to be saved there. They're very, I would say, professional category managers. What it is they're using the tools that are accessible to them today. And if you see a transportation tender, most of the information is around price, schedule, and routes. There is very rarely some quality information. There are some promises on the type of equipment that will be used, but they're promises. And with contracting and subcontractors, it's not quite difficult to ensure that the quality will be there. What we bring is we bring a fact-based, collaborative way with the carriers, way to ensure that we provide to the buyers a quality index that they can rely on, they can check over time, they can track, they can even progress collaboratively with the suppliers. So yes, the buyers are doing a job today with the information that they have access to. We provide more information so they can do an even better job.
Well, thank you again, Christophe. So are there any more questions that we might not have received? No. Okay, so it's time to conclude. I would say, well, Milan and Christophe, thank you for your presentations. And if I summarize briefly, I would say first, there is a real link between economic and environmental performance of transport. Number two, the gains are quite multiple and impact most of the divisions of your company, as you've heard. It's also quite an easy solution to deploy, less than a month, and the solution provides with fact-based results. So I would say now, bye-bye. Thank you for your attention and all your valuable questions and comments. Do not hesitate to share with colleagues the replay of this webinar, or yourself, replay it to yourself. The link is at the top of the page. In 3 weeks, we will run a demonstration, a live demonstration of the TK'Blue solution, its dashboard, functionalities and usage. It will be held on April 16th, 1:30 p.m. London time, English-speaking webinar. Meanwhile, if you have any questions about the issues that were discussed today, you can contact us by phone or email, as you can see. So either for the German markets, Austria and Switzerland, Milan Dolinar, UK market, myself, Christine Rocher, or for the rest of the world, the international will be Christophe Hinfray. Oh, I'm sorry. Someone tells me that I made a mistake. It's not Thursday, April 16th, but Thursday, April 12th. So Thursday, April 12th. Thank you. Sorry for that. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for listening, and have a great afternoon.
Au revoir.
Thank you very much. Goodbye. Tschüss.
Bye-bye.